So participles are verb forms that are pretending to be adjectives, and in a lot of cases they can kind of act alone or they can act in a phrase, but they're modifying that sentence in a way that kind of is like an adjective. So in this case, I watched an exciting movie, or excited by the movie, I couldn't sleep. And so in both of these sentences, even though that verb kind of looking word is there, it's actually acting as an adjective. Excite is our verb. It was an exciting movie. That's a verb looking word, but it's actually acting as an adjective that's modifying movie. The verb of that sentence, of course, is watched. In the other one, I couldn't sleep. Could not sleep. That's our verb. Excited is like the word excite, but it's just there to modify my condition. Excited by the movie, I couldn't sleep. There's two types of participles that I really want to talk about. They are present participle, past participle. Present participle means it looks like a present tense verb, ing, boring. Past participle is ed, it looks like a past tense verb, bored. For example, David is a very boring teacher. David is a very bored teacher. And those are both good to know, but it's important to know the difference between them because they have extremely different meanings. The way to look at it is, if you take the present participle, imagine that it's starting from the actor going out. So David is a very boring teacher. The boringness is coming from within me, sending it out to you. In this case, I am causing you to be bored. David is a very bored teacher. In this case, the past participle, we've got the boringness is starting from outside coming inwards. So David is a very bored teacher means you are boring. Your boringness is causing me to feel bored, so I am bored. So present participle starting from inside going out, past participle starting from outside going in. It's a big, big difference. So let's look at the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first one, I played a rather interesting, is what it should be, interesting game last week. The interestingness started from within the game and spread out to me. Next one, 2, interesting to only the most unusual people. Pokemon has become popular around the world. Interesting again. From within Pokemon, it sends out the interestingness to the most unusual people. What a weird sentence that is, but yeah, that's what it means. Number 3, what I am most interested in is the creative illusions. So the focus is on me. The interest is starting from the creative illusions, going to me, but I'm the focus of the sentence, so it's interested, past participle. 4, walking through tall grass, Ash often gets into fights. And this one's a little bit different. This is just modifying, Ash, like we said at the beginning. But yeah, it's something that he's doing. It's going outward to the world, I guess. So walking, present participle. And the last one, Ash, challenged, receiving the challenge, by his rival, becomes determined to be the best. So the determination comes from the challenge goes into him. And we know that that's the case because becomes, that's an important word in that sentence. And so that's participles. Now participles are verbs, kind of verb-looking words acting like adjectives. The other one is gerunds, and gerunds are more like verbs acting as nouns. For example, walking always relaxes me. In this case, walking is a noun. In fact, it's the subject of the sentence, and so that's a gerund. It's acting as a noun. Different from participles. Walking along the street, Andrew saw his friend. So in that sentence, Andrew, subject, saw, verb. And walking is just modifying the condition of Andrew like an adjective. So even though they might use the same form, that ing form, don't confuse them. One is acting as a noun, one's acting as an adjective. Let's go through the second part here. Again, numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Decide whether it's a gerund or a participle. Number 1, running through the halls of the school isn't very safe. That's a gerund. We're using running as an action that's being done. And so this is the subject of the sentence. It's the noun here, gerund. Number 2, the young boy running with his friends is my nephew. That's a participle. The thing he's doing is running with his friends. It's modifying the description of him. But as far as the sentence goes, young boy is the subject, is the verb. So what is this underlined thing doing? Like I said, it's modifying his description. Maybe there are 3 different boys and only one of them is running with his friends. That's why we use that participle there, or that participial phrase. Third one, guided by her trusty dog, Debbie found her way to the market. Well, here's an easy tip. I've never seen a gerund without an ing, so this one probably, obviously, is a participle. It's modifying the condition of Debbie finding her way to the market, if you will. So that's a participle. Number 4, honestly, I never really liked studying grammar. Again, I hope this one's not true, but yeah, in this case, studying grammar isn't the object of the sentence. It's a noun that we don't like that noun. So studying grammar, studying is a gerund. Number 5, she was kind enough to help a struggling old woman. Difficult one maybe, but this is actually a participle because it's modifying the description of the woman. So it's a present participle. Cool. Hopefully that's not too bad. So the next thing to talk about for participles is participial phrases. And participial phrases, this kind of gets into what we talked about for commas, clauses, and phrases if you've seen that lesson. And if you haven't, I might recommend going back and watching it. So a participial phrase is a way that we can combine 2 clauses. Sorry. For example, we've got these 2 clauses here. I was startled by the noise. I jumped. These are actually 2 independent clauses, but I'd like to combine them because, this is boring to write like this. It's kind of, lazy and bad writing. So how can we combine those? Well, the easy way to combine those is just changing one of them, removing the subject and removing the verb, and just changing a past participle in there. So for example, changing maybe the verb to a past participle, I'm sorry. So for example, we might take startled by the noise, I jumped. This makes the most sense, mostly because I can't really turn jumped into a participle. That would ruin that entire clause. But yeah, startled by the noise, I jumped, and that's great. Startled is a past participle. It's modifying my condition, in this case, the reason for my jumping. For participial phrases, they can go in different parts of the sentence, and that may or may not require a comma. An important thing, though, is make sure you're very careful about where you put it in the sentence, because there are some times when it could change the meaning of the sentence. So let's take a couple of examples here. First one, wearing glasses. The boy saw the dog. Fine. By wearing glasses, the boy saw the dog. It's wearing glasses is modifying the condition under which the boy saw the dog. The boy wearing glasses saw the dog. This could have a couple meanings. If we put commas in there, then what it means is the same as before. The boy, under the condition of wearing glasses, saw the dog. If it's like the sentence I've got on your screen, no commas. The boy wearing glasses saw the dog. The meaning is a little bit different. Maybe there are 3 boys, one of them is wearing glasses, and that boy, the glasses wearing boy, is the one who saw the dog. That's more what the meaning is for this sentence. If we put it at the end, be careful, the boy saw the dog wearing glasses. That is a different meaning. In this case, it means that the dog was wearing glasses, which of course is not correct. So be careful about where you put participial phrases in the sentence. Even though it's almost always grammatical, you don't want to put it just random places. You want to think about it first. For participial phrases, this is related to commas, clauses, and phrases, but I didn't explain it very much there, so I'm sorry. There are times you need a comma and there's times you don't need a comma, and I just mentioned that kind of a second ago. If it comes at the beginning of the sentence, you must use a comma. For example, wanting a good grade, the student paid attention. That always needs a comma. Wanting a good grade, comma, the student paid attention. If it's in the middle of the sentence, like the glasses example, you may or may not need a comma, but that does change the meaning of the sentence slightly. For example, no commas. Any student wanting a good grade should pay attention. In this case, there are no commas, which tells the reader, this information is essential to the meaning of the sentence. And so in this case, it's saying whoever, like whichever student wants a good grade, that student should pay attention. If I change the sentence slightly, put commas around the phrase, for example, Junho wanting a good grade paid attention. In this case, the commas signify that it could be deleted if I want. So I could have the sentence, Junho paid attention, and that's fine, but I wanted to put this participial phrase in there for some reason. So in this case, perhaps what I wanted to say was, the reason he paid attention, and so that's why I put it there. But if I took it in, if I put it in, if I took it out, those commas are telling me it's the same general meaning either way. The point of that sentence is he paid attention. If the participial phrase comes at the end of the sentence, almost all the time you won't need a comma. It's very rare that you will. For example, the teacher preferred the students paying attention. You don't need a comma there. It's, that's it. It's very important that you get this down, because these will come in a lot. Unless you are just hitting me with simple sentence after simple sentence, you're probably going to need to mix up your sentence structure. So it's really important that you get these all, correct. Let's go through some examples here just for fun. For number 1, the politician left the press conference. The politician felt confident about her answers. So maybe we could have feeling confident about her answers, the politician left the press conference. And of course we've got feeling confident. That participial phrase needs a comma after it because I put it at the beginning. Let's do number 5. Skip down to number 5. James saw an orange cat. James was driving his car. So you could remove the subject from one of those, but I would probably be careful about it because it could change the sentence meaning a little bit. James saw an orange cat driving his car, of course, is wrong, because that would mean the orange cat was driving his car. James saw I just said that's right. Driving his car, comma, James saw an orange cat, or James, driving his car, saw an orange cat. Those are both fine because those have the right meaning of, while his car was being driven by him, he saw an orange cat. So make sure you've got these down. This is an important grammar point for the test.